Namaste and welcome to Treya Child Development Solutions. Hope you're safe and sound at your end. 2020 has been a year of challenges and opportunities for many of us. From working from home to online schooling, everything has changed. Need not to mention that children with special needs were unable to continue intervention programs. Teletherapy, which was being used minimally in the past, has come to the forefront while there are several questions lingering around about its effectiveness. Today, we take the opportunity to discuss with our guest and an expert in this domain of teletherapy. Let me introduce our speaker. Ms. Elizabeth Zane Thomas is a co-founder and director of Phonologics and director of clinical operations at RISE Development Center. She is an RCA certified audiologist and speech language pathologist with over 19 years of experience working with various organizations and hospitals in Chennai and Gurgaon. She completed her bachelor's and master's in audiology and speech language pathology from AYJ NIHH Mumbai University. We welcome you, Elizabeth.
Thank you, Harika.
Yeah, with your vast experience of 19 years in the field of speech pathology, we would like to hear from you how your journey had been from providing in-person therapy services to teletherapy.
Okay, so I started my career in 2001 with, I started at a speech and hearing clinic where we used to do audiology testing and speech therapy. Then later on, I worked in many hospitals and special schools and other organizations. And also I have had my private practice where I used to see clients in person. So some years back, when first how I ventured into speech online speech therapy is when one of our clients had moved to the US. So they wanted to continue therapy with us. So that time I was very skeptical because it was completely relatively new in India, and I was not too sure. Okay.
Yes.
So since many years, like even in the US and other countries, this telepractice model has been very popular and found to be very effective. So once I started, I realized, okay, this is as good as in-person therapy. So then later, usually most of clients, when they relocated or somebody had some difficulty at home, like birth of a sibling, and mother couldn't come to the therapy centers and all, they used to come to us and we used to have the sessions. I mean, online sessions. So Pravina and I, we both, knew each other since college. So we both wanted to collaborate since many years, but we were in different cities. So then we thought about, coming together to form this platform, Phonologics, so that we can do online therapies. So this happened a few months before COVID. That time we were not even aware of COVID, the situation in the pandemic that is supposed to happen. So that time we used to have to convince parents on how effective teletherapy is. It is as effective as online session. I mean, sorry, in-person sessions. But after the pandemic, when centers closed down for many months together, so then parents actually realized what a boon teletherapy is. So yeah, so we have been seeing many clients: stuttering, hearing impairment, autism, and so many, even delayed speech and language. So many. So we've been seeing many clients, and it's quite effective, like in-person therapy.
Yes. So even when I was working as a consultant in RxDX, there they provide tele practice for medical consultation, health related consultations, and other things. So I had an opportunity to consult for two clients, not more than that. So after pandemic, even it was a sudden change for me, and then even I have started with telepractice. I've done a couple of courses, to make myself, ready before I get into it. So yes, I see, a lot of, children are able to show the same progress. The same children whom I have taken in person, and they after they move to telepractice, they're showing the same level of interest and enthusiasm in meeting me, and then they're able to show progress even through teletherapy. So
Yes.
most of the times when we talk to the parents about telepractice, the first question they say is like, um, how do you compare teletherapy with in-person therapy? So that's the first question. So would like to hear from you.
Comparison.
Yes.
See, in fact, one thing is that we get to work with the child in a very comfortable environment of theirs. Like, when they are at home, they are a different, very different compared to when they come to us in the session. So we get to observe them under their, comfort zone, and we get to, design our goals also accordingly. So what we realize is, in fact, there is faster generalization happening when
Mhm.
we do it, online. So yeah, so that is one advantage. So of course there are, certain some children who have maybe a severe hearing or vision problem or cognitive difficulties. They may not, for them maybe in-person therapy is required. But for in most cases, uh, uh, online therapy has its advantages, I would say.
Okay. So, and yeah, another statement, we hear very often is that, my child doesn't sit, so I don't think, teletherapy is good for him. So please share your thoughts on this.
Of course, it's a fact that all children won't sit and focus on, online sessions. Now, if you look at the schools, the entire school system, everyone's come online, and we have stories of parents struggling to make their preschoolers sit and attend to online sessions. So, children below 3 years who are in that early intervention stage, or children who have, attention problems, and maybe children with autism and all who may not sit and concentrate. So when we say online therapy, we are not actually, we don't mean that, for every child the format is the same. They have to sit in front of the screen and cooperate. That is not what it means. When for these children who don't sit in the through the session online, what we do is a parent coaching model. As it is, like, children, young children do learn skills through parents. So parents are the medium through which, so what we do is we try to, coach the parents. So every session the parents will be with us. We'll plan goals in such a way, we break down the goals for them. So if they're doing twice a week sessions, so in one session we give goals for the next 4 days which are achievable, and we teach them, exactly demonstrate to them and teach them what activities to be used, what materials they can use at home to train the child for that particular goal. And then we make sure, they record videos of the activities being done, and they send it to us, so we check to make sure the activities are being done in the right way. So this way we ensure that the progress is happening. So when we say online therapy, the question of my child is not going to sit in front of the screen is not going to arise, because that is not what is expected also. Like, like in normal school, a third standard kid may have 3 hours of classes. Preschooler has half an hour of, maybe 1 or 2 days of sessions. That is how. So similarly, it's not, they are not expected to sit. It is through the parents. So yeah,
Yes, I completely agree with that.
so
And
they don't have to come.
information for parents, who have no clue about what online therapy is, and how do we, help the child, get the enough intervention, right, at their home. So, and why do you think parent training is critical for child's development?
Yeah. So whether it's like in person or for online, parent training is crucial. Parents need to be fully aware of the condition of the child. It's very important, because otherwise they wouldn't know what to do, how to stimulate the child. So how well they stimulate, the positive, parenting techniques they adopt, all this will, all this is what makes sure, there is a good progress in the child. So it's very important that we train the parents. And parents are also very important to generalize the skills. So like if you talk about communication, like when we teach communication to the child, when we do it in a in-person setting, we have to create need. I mean, when we are teaching them to, maybe for example teaching them to request for something, we have to create the need. But that is not the case. They may not be, for example, if they want something, and I mean, we are teaching them to ask for water and they're not thirsty. It would be more effective if when they're actually thirsty and the parent is teaching them to say, ask for water. So we always, it's very important that they realize what is happening, even if blindly not going, okay, some therapy plan has been taken, some goal is taken, the therapist is working on it. That is not sufficient. They need to be trained to do the same things at home. Otherwise the child will do very well in the session, but there is no carryover, and they'll feel like nothing has happened. So it's very important that we train them. Another thing, like they need to be aware of milestones also, like like at each stage what the child is supposed to be, and at what level they are supposed to be in different domains. So this is also important. Another thing is sensory profile. They
Yeah.
also need to know about the sensory profile of the child, because many children, sensory profile, this is a way for, in which we come to know how they process different sensory information. So many children may be hyposensitive or hypersensitive to stimuli like sounds, vision, touch, etc. So a child who is like hypersensitive to sound, for example, he may close his ears, or get very upset in a very noisy environment, while a child who is hyposensitive may seek sounds and keep banging on doors and dropping things, and all that, and and constantly creating sounds because they are seeking, they are hypersensitive to sounds. Similarly, a child who, when many children, we know, like complain about itchy clothes or tight clothes, or uh, label poking them and all that. So often parents tend to scold them and think this is a negative behavior and force them to continue to wear those, without realizing that they are hypersensitive to touch, and much more than how we perceive that same sensation, they perceive it in a very magnified way. So it's very, very important that parents understand the sensory profile. This helps them understand many things they consider as negative behavior. So parent training is crucial at every stage.
Yes, I completely. Sensory processing, is a very important thing. I think as a speech therapist, we are provided with less information on that. But once we get to know, we'll be able to, tailor our therapy sessions according to the child's sensory system. Like
Absolutely.
the other day, we were talking about tactile defensiveness, right? If
Hmm.
tactile defensiveness, the child may not allow the parent or even the therapist. So we need to take into consideration about the child's sensory profile. And even
Yeah.
in telepractice, I think we mix our activities with sensory play. I think there's a very good compliance from the child side, is what I have
Yeah.
experienced. Yes. So would you like to add any other points?
In fact, like there are many instances where a child who is hypersensitive to touch, when we don't respect that, we force them, maybe they don't like being hugged tightly, and they become defensive. The tactile defensiveness comes from not recognizing hypersensitivity. So we are doing more damage to them by not knowing what it is all about. So it's very important that parents, all of us are aware, and we work together to understand the child better, and then work for their benefit.
Yes, okay. So I think this was like this will definitely give deeper insights for all the parents about telepractice. And one thing that made all of us realize is that distance is teletherapy has got the distance short. Wherever you are,
Totally.
get access to your therapies, consult the consultant, and then get started with the intervention. So
Yeah.
we have learned.
Therapy has become, yeah, accessible to many, in fact. from remote places
Yes.
and all. So it's a
So
advantage.
in our country where there is less professional to child ratio,
Yeah,
I think teletherapy will help us, reaching many of them who are in need of, such intervention services. So,
definitely.
okay. So thank you so much for your time, Elizabeth.